The entire goal is to never see this again. How do they do that? You're going to pick the next draft class right here tonight on RGR Football. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well. We're going to have some fun tonight. I promised you a live mock draft where you guys are in charge, and that's exactly what we're doing tonight. Hope you guys are doing well. If you want to leave your comments, get in the chat because this is an interactive thing. I'm not doing this. You guys are making the picks. I'll just kind of set it up and let you guys vote. So you got to be in the chat. It helps if you are subscribed to the channel, and it's even better if you happen to be a member. You can join the memberships and get all the extras, including a little bit fortunate for some of our behind-the-scenes content, as well as some of the things that we put out in public. You get it a little bit earlier, you get a little bit cheaper. There is a lot to go on there. And it starts right now with what we have available as of last night. If you missed it, this is out, the 2025 NFL Draft Guide from Rogue Analytics and Performance Consulting. Me, Dan, EJ, Jeff, and John all put this together. It's all of our film grades, all of the athletic matrix, all of the production metrics rolled all into one draft guide that gives you what you need to know about this draft class, top to bottom. And it lets you be someone who makes an informed decision about where and who is going to be the next chief or the next guy that takes a spot that allows the chief to take their next guy. There's a lot that goes into it. We're going to get after it tonight. I'm going to share another window as we go to the mock draft machine, and we're going to work on this together. So the first thing, as everybody's getting in here, and I will set this up, if you have questions, you have comments, you want to make sure you get on the show tonight, super chats get an answer every time because that's what I do at live streams. So if you want to contribute to the channel, feel free. Leave that super chat, and I will definitely get to them. Everyone else, make your votes in the chat. That's what we're going to do. A lot of folks are in here already. Some friendly faces. Nice to see Cole, one of our admins. Appreciate you being in here, pal. Hope you're doing well. Evening, Doctor. Nice to see you. Let's not forget the like button. I appreciate that. You know, if you guys would hit that, that always goes a long way. Dan's not going to be in tonight that I know of. So it's going to be you and me. We're going to make it. And a lot of folks already have some comments in here about trade up to 21 and draft Simmons, etc. What's up, Daniel? Hope you're doing well. You got to move ahead of the Texans to get Simmons. That may be true. If we're moving up, it has to be for Simmons or Nolan. I like the way that you're thinking there. There's another scenario that we'll go over, but I like what you're saying there, Christopher. A lot of folks here, Minnesota has just 4 picks. And that's been one of my targets in my machinations to this point. But I think that it's difficult at that point to get some of the players that you might want to trade up for. And I think that's probably the bigger obstacle, just so you guys can still see me before we get this started. The obstacle is getting a trade partner and getting to the point where you can do something that you want to do rather than just making a pre-draft trade to try to get up, and then you still might not have the availability of the players that you're looking for. So that's going to be the big deal. Caroline, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Folks, make sure you go subscribe over at NFL 33 as well, because Caroline's content is coming out there, and that's where you need to know and have access to get the subscription so you can see Caroline's work. Now, mine is behind there as well, and I'm going to put out some of my rankings positionally that are not necessarily the same as the draft guide. They're my positional rankings. What we do in the draft guide is we all come together and we look at our film grades, the production grades, and the athletic matrix to give you a rounded and mathematical algorithmic determination of the rankings. My board looks a little bit different, but I'm going to give you my board for free, like I do every single year. You'll find it on NFL33.com the week of the draft. And before then, I'll have some content around some of my rankings that you can get if you go get subscribed. You can also read Caroline over there. So a lot of here, Jonathan's looking at Ezaraku from BC. Cole wants to know, would Josh Connor be a good fit for us at left tackle? And if so, do you think he falls to us? I do think he should be available, and not as good a fit as some others, but he is a fit I think would be practical in the situation that we might find ourselves into. So the first thing that we get here, because a lot of folks have already brought it up, is trade down to get an OT or a wide receiver or edge. That is another possibility. I don't know if there's going to be trade partners available for Veach. We're likely to get some in our scenario here. So good evening, Patrick. Nice to see you. Folks, I am going to put this up front and center so that we are concentrating on this. First question to you guys. Are we trading up? Are we trading down? Are we trying to stay put and just take the value at 33? What I'm going to do is knock down the speed of this, and I'm going to get it started, and we're going to go down just about 10 picks to see what happens, and then we'll start to evaluate. As Malachi Starks goes off the board at 10 to the Chicago Bears. Not a terrible pick. Definitely not the top safety that you think can make an impact. He does have some ability. I like top 10 pick for me is out of the question. You'll see when my rankings come out about where the safeties lie. And it's not at the ultra top of this. I will tell you that. So Caroline says trade down. Bobby, Chris, Zach, a lot of trade ups. Trade down if Simmons is gone, says Tatum. Okay, that's a good way to look at it as well. What will it cost to get to 11? Patrick wants to know. So this is the Niners, and the Niners might be looking for a corner. They might be looking for defensive front help. Graham is off the board, as is Walter Nolan, and that's a problem for me. The last week, this has ticked up quite a bit. I don't think Walter Nolan's a top 10 player. I think there's enough question around the league that I don't think he'll go that high. I don't know if he lasts to 31 either, but he would be my top pick for the Chiefs if he were there. Cole says trade down to garner picks. Trade down if Simmons is gone at 24. Beach said don't trade down for an OT. And that's a good point. Trading down for an OT is a problem. You can get a third-tier tackle at 31 or below, and that's perfectly fine. So the question is, what would we have to get up to get to number 11? It would probably take all three of their top picks to move up to number 11. Could they get it for 95? No, it doesn't look like it. Not according to these rules in this machine. So that's out of the question for me. Now, what you see is Travis Hunter went off. Abdul Carter went off. Will Campbell did go, as did Jada Barron. McMillan, I honestly don't think McMillan goes that high. And this has the Raiders taking Genty. So well done, Raiders. You raided again. Appreciate you. So what I'm going to explore is what would it take to get to Indy at, say, 14? They'll definitely do it for all of our picks. It would take 66 and 95 to go up to 14. Again, too high a cost, in my opinion. Then the more likely, I think, is Seattle and the Bucks, but we'll check on 16 and see what it would cost. It would still cost 66, and that might not even get it done. So again, I'm not giving away more top 100s right now unless I had a reason to, and we'll check that here in a second. Seattle right now, if we wanted that, we'd have to give them 95 plus. Maybe we could get, if we gave them 66, could we get a 52 back? No. Could we get an 82 back? No. Could we get 92? We probably couldn't even get 92 for the 66 pick. So, yes, Chris, I will run the next picks. We're just getting a lay of the land here for what these deals look like now. And we would have to give up probably 95, not even 95 would get it. So we'd have to give up that early third rounder to get up to 19, which I think is kind of the magic spot. The question would be is, are you guys willing to do this, to give up 66, to move up to 19? I'm not so sure that I would. So that's kind of where we're seeing it right now. I do like the squeeze play. That is one of the things that I dig. I will tell you this. I don't think the Steelers are going to play ball. I just don't think they will. We might be able to get them to do this, and we'll come back and check that after we run 5 more picks off of the board, and let's take another look at what happens. Warren goes, Ed Green, Ezraku goes, Will Johnson goes, and Kenneth Grant. I don't think either of those players goes in the top 15. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Well, Only Knives, Brett Veach does give up his first round picks, but I don't think that I'm willing to give up next year's one, given that we have some other free agents coming. Don't know what that's going to look like, so I'm going to stay away from trading away next year's first. Rumor, Jonathan was saying rumors that they'll probably fall. Yeah, I heard 4 6s, Jonathan. So I do think he will fall. I don't think he'll be in the top 15. Next year's 4th, we could try that. That's not a bad call, Tad. I just don't think that's going to garner you much. We'll look at the Vikings as well, Chris. Not a problem. Packers in Minnesota. Those are the ones that I've been successful with trading with so far, not only on this website, but on several others as well. And if you're new into the show, make sure you like and sub. We are just running through the mock draft as best that we can. So, Cardinals on the pick here. So what would we have to do to get, say, the Packers pick, which I think is actually a little bit too low for if we're looking to try to get Simmons. So we would have to give up 95 would get it done. 133, I'm guessing, would not. So we'd have to give up 95 in order to go to 23 by itself. But if we gave up 66 and got 87 back and maybe a 159, could we get 120? We could maybe even get 124, fill in some of those gaps. I could do this, move up in the first, move back out of the top of the third and still have top 100s. That's probably the way that I would lean. But for the Vikings, they just don't have much to give. So if we gave them 95, they'd probably be happy. If we gave them 133, they'd probably be happy. That's pretty close, but I could throw in the 7th to try to get that up. Do you guys have a preference right now, or do we want to run more off the clock? Put it in the chat. What are we doing? Okay, so question is who's available? So everybody but these top 16 picks. We talked about Genti. Membu went the tackle from Mizzou. Starks. Tyler Warren. Mike Green from Marshall. Ezaraku, another edge. And then corner, Will Johnson. And D.I., the big dude, Kenneth Grant. I do think he falls as well. Let's see. Run it at 31, the last one. I like the first idea. Okay, I like the first idea as well. So let's run a couple more picks off the board and see what happens when we get to, say, Pittsburgh. Now, what I'm hearing from multiple sources, one of whom is, you can see it for public, is our guy Todd McShay, that the Steelers like Shedeur Sanders. If he lasts that long, they're going to take him. So I don't think they're going to be trading out of that pick. I think maybe if he goes, maybe they do. So in this situation, he has not. What's happened since we let the clock roll again is Matthew Golden from Texas went. Jahad Campbell, the linebacker. Emeka Ibuka, who I think is the best fit for the Kansas City Chiefs in this particular draft. If he were to last farther, I would consider selecting him if the tackles, both offensive and defensive, are off the board. I think Emeka Ibuka is that good. Matt and Derek and I had a good conversation today. You'll see that podcast later, just about what type of receiver they could be looking for, and he fits it. So then they come back. The edge, James Pierce, goes. I think that's too early for him, too. He's way too light, and he's only an outside linebacker. And I think Jalen Walker, very much so, is still a pass rush, but still an outside linebacker type, not a DE type. So the Chiefs wouldn't be interested in either of those guys, which is fine. So if we wanted to get this pick, we could try to squeeze, and that's one of my favorite maneuvers. We have a 56% chance. So at 21, with Simmons still on the board, the top receiver for the Chiefs is off the board. The top offensive tackle is still there. The top defensive tackle is gone for the Chiefs. So what do you guys want to do? Do we try to pull the trigger on this trade, move around to 21, and see if it would happen? Or do you want to let it roll? Put it in the chat, and you guys will decide. Chris says, let's do it. I like your attitude, my friend. Do it. I don't know what roll means, you guys. I mean roll down to 31, or should we go ahead and make this trade? I wonder if Simmons won't go off the board here or for the Chargers, just like they did with Alt, taking some of that away. So who is still available? The reason we'd be trading up is Josh Simmons. If you feel that the injury is okay, it's going to work. Okay, make the trade. I'm not going to go back to 24 because I don't want to risk somebody taking us in the meantime. Packers pick, scroll down a little bit. I can scroll down a little bit. Sure. The options are this pick at Pittsburgh and then basically the Packers and the Vikings. Those are the best options. Anything new about medicals on Simmons? Nothing particularly new other than he worked out a week ago for about literally 10 seconds doing some agility drills just on the field. Nothing timed, nothing strenuous. Looked good. A lot of people came away feeling like he's well ahead of schedule. I'm hearing some rumors that that it's less severe than originally reported, but we really don't know. Patrick, you asked a really good question because these guys are 2 of my 3 first-round grades, and that's the big question. Banks is definitely lower. Simmons is my tackle 1, just based on film, production, and athleticism from film, because he doesn't have any testing because of the injury. The injury is the big concern. So a lot of folks say do the trade. Banks is not gone, Zachary. He is not. Supposedly, yeah, that's a good one, Bobby. I've heard that report as well. I don't think anybody really knows until they get him in their building. If Simmons is healthy, he's not getting to 20. That may be true, but honestly, he's had 5 visits, the Chiefs being one of them, so you never know. So I think it's worth the trade. It sounds like you guys too. So we are going to go ahead and trade up with the Steelers. In this scenario, they're down for it. We'll see. 56%. It might take me a couple of tries, or they accept it on the first go. And so what we're going to do, we came up here for him. We're going to take him. Josh Simmons comes off the board, and he's on to the Chiefs roster. Now, what does that mean as we watch this kind of tick down for it? Banks went very, very quickly afterwards. Michael Williams, I put him on the thumbnail for this because he was one of my backup positions for this. And I think what that means is it's not just that you picked a left tackle possibility, which he definitely is. He is the best left tackle in this class. The injury is significant, and we know that that's a concern. But here's the thing. You sign Jalen Moore, there's no reason he can't go play right either. And there's no guarantee that he will turn into left tackle in the future. So it is a risk. So Beach likes it. Christopher liked it. Chris dug it. And thank you. Mr. Proctober, I appreciate that. And that's the thing. It's a tough trade to make, but is pretty much still staying in the top 100. I still think you can get value out of that. So it worked for us. So we're going to go back to it, and we're going to see what happens now. Connerly and Harmon come off literally back to back. And those are 2 guys that I think the Chiefs could trade back if they wanted to get to this scenario and are worth taking. Tyleik Williams is one of my favorite guys in this draft. Omar Norman I do have just a little bit better. So this makes sense to me too. And Shedeur Sanders goes at the top of the draft. Now, I honestly think that Shedeur Sanders, if he falls that far, I think the Steelers will probably take him. If he falls past them for some reason, then I think there will be teams that are looking to come to 31 to get him, I even heard Jalen Milroe. I don't believe that for an instant because Milroe is a 3rd or 4th round pick on my board. But I do think Jackson Dart could be in the mix. So a quarterback could be the savior for the Chiefs scenario for moving back. So it could be worth it. Let's let this roll, and we're going to see what happens. Unless you guys want to try to trade up back into the 30s, I don't think there's value there. But I think we could trade into the 50s if y'all wanted to. Put it in the chat if you want to try to trade back up or you just want to wait till 63. I'm going to stop it at the Seahawks at 50, and we'll make a decision. And boom, there it is. So Cam Ward went 31. Need to change parameters. Yeah, that's true. Although I will say this, Cam Ward would still be the 5th guy on my board if this was last year. So you got to keep that in mind. Some teams, remember when Kenny Pickett's class went? Like they just waited because they just didn't have the grades. And I think there's a possibility that we could see this quarterback class not be what we're expecting either. So, Alec, that's not unfair. It's definitely been kind of a weird one. I will say that all the machines, TDNs, all the other ones, they've gone kind of crazy in the last week, and I wonder what they're doing with it, to tell you the truth. So it's just a pick of the draw. So it doesn't look like anybody really wants to go up. So we're just going to let this roll, and we're going to see what happens at 63 when the Chiefs are back on the board. Speedy, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate you very much. And let's see, what about tackles? Rivers from Miami later, or Crenshaw Dixon from Florida? Crenshaw Dixon, I think I have listed as a UDFA. My board is not complete, but it will be by next week, so you guys can download it. Rivers, Jalen, I believe is his first name. He is a guy that I think could get drafted. I think it will be late. Let's double check where they have him. Not that I agree with it all, but I just want to double check that. Coming down here, I do like this guy from Wazoo. That's a Pole. He is a guy that is on the Chiefs' radar. I'll just let you know that now. Did I scroll past Rivers? I thought he was in here. Oh, no, I did. So they have him as a early day 3, midday 3 guy. I think that's a little high for him, but he is somebody that they could keep on their radar as a developmental guy for sure. And they have Brandon Crenshaw Dixon way higher than I do. I have him very low, like 6th, maybe 7th. So Beach is wanting a DT here. And thank you, Speedy. Appreciate the support. Take Ursery and make sure we get next year's right tackle too. Okay, well, let's take a look at that. And that is a very likely scenario. Now, I think Embo is a decent player, but I think he goes into guard. I like Jonas Savanea. He is a beast and a huge man, but I think he goes into guard. I think Milam might be a better guard. I do like Cameron Williams. If we had to wait to the 3rd, I do like Cameron Williams as a potential to develop into a starting right tackle. He is not a left option. Ursery probably can be. We'll see. That's probably, with him on the board and being able to knock that out. I mean, that's doubling up at tackle in the first 2 rounds certainly will give you options to correct the problem. I think that's a little bit too rich for this particular draft, though, because you got to get a couple other things done. There are needs on the defensive line. And so with Oladejo, this is high for me, but it is an option. I want to look at the defensive tackles, and we'll see there. Shamar Turner is probably the biggest name here, although Alfred Collins is a better player than a lot of the media are giving him credit for. They finally have started to rank Ty Robinson where he deserves to be, which is right on the edge of 100. I do think he's viable there. Proctober thinks that Jordan Birch is Spagsy. That's a good way to put it there. That's a good point. Let's take a look at the other options. Now, remember, we don't have 67 any longer. We traded out of it. Or 66, sorry. So let's take a look at corner. Porter is on the board there. Not my favorite pick. I do like Parrish, and I love Kobe Bryant. You get not just because he's a Jayhawk, but because of the way that he plays. I do like that as well. What else do we have at the top here? Royals is a receiver that Dan really likes. I can't argue. I don't know that I see him being super fit in this particular offense. Judkins is Judkins. He does have more speed than we originally thought. Caroline, Royals is solid too. Absolutely. I think that would be Dan's pick if he were here. I'm cool with DT at 63. Okay, I like it. Let's take a look at the tight end spot as well. Somebody brought that up, and I appreciate you. Because, he did go. Okay, so he went 2 picks ahead of us here. At 61 went Elijah Arroyo, and I really like his fit for the Chiefs. So that is something to keep an eye on. Mason Taylor is surprisingly well ranked in the guide because he has athleticism, he has production, and he's got solid film. Is he the next Travis Kelce? Nobody really is, but I think he could do that. DE Tad wants to see. Okay, that works for me, buddy. Oladejo, like I said, I think he's overrated right there. But let's take a look at the edge group. Kennard is a Spagsy guy. That's for sure. Jack Sawyer is a Spagsy guy, and you guys know how I feel about Ashton Gillott. Savion Jones is there. I'm not as high on him. I would have Sorrell above him, to be honest. And Birch is solid, but nothing super that I have to have. In fact, Speedy asked another question about Savion Jones. Does he remind you of Frank Clark? Not in college. The way Frank played in college doesn't look like Jones to me, but I could see maybe a path to get there. That's for sure. I like Kennard in this defense as well. I think honestly, the wide receiver is probably the best pick for fit in Jalen Royals. But let's see what we're getting offers on. Okay, we're not moving back 20 picks. If we could move back 5 picks and pick up another selection, I would look at it. Say like Cleveland wanted to come back up, right? I would entertain that idea if they gave us, 104 or gave us 179 even. I could probably get down with that. That's not even that great. Patriots maybe get back 106 for 63 for moving down 6 spots. That's definitely something that I would consider, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen in this scenario. So it looks like we are sticking and picking. So let's get it. Wide receiver, Jalen Royals. We're not going to take Ursery. So we're going to come back with, do we want a Shamar Turner, Texas A&M? Do we want an edge, Kyle Kennard, or the other edge, Oladeju? Those are your options. Put your thoughts, or Judkins, Alec, you can put that in there too. Put your votes in the chat, and we'll get that figured out. Thank you again, Speedy. I appreciate you in your super chats, and thank you for the support. Definitely not Porter said only knives. I kind of lean that direction too. Like, certainly not here. A lot of folks like Collins so far. Kyle Williams. I don't think Williams is the greatest fit for this offense, so I'm going to hold off on that. A Judkins vote, a Kennard vote. Not many Royals. Caroline, you better get in there if you're going to vote. I know how you feel. Who's a better fit, CJ or Alfred? Honestly, I think probably Alfred Collins is a better fit. Collins again. Okay, we don't have a consensus here, folks. Keep voting. Let's see what you guys want to do. Judkins. Okay, that's back-to-back. Judkins all day. Okay. Well, it looks like we're going to pick up Judkins. That looks to be the majority here. Early for me, but I can understand at 63, it's not that huge a reach. Oladeju, okay. Another Judkins. Can we look at just wide receiver only Knives wants to see? Yeah, let's take a look at it. So Kyle Williams is there. Restrepo's later. Probably not speedy enough for me. I like Noel. Tez Johnson's way down there. Bond could be an option later. I do like Torrey Horton quite a bit. Torrey Holt might have been a Freudian slip there, just so you know. Jalen Lane could be interesting in this offense. Nick Nash can do some things. I like Jimmy Horn. So it's not super thick at wide receiver, but there's enough. I would say Royals is the best of that pick for Kansas City, and it looks like Judkins. There's a couple of Royals in there. One home run hitter. Okay, and Jonathan there. All right, so we'll come back at 83 and see what Bond looks like. We will go Judkins because he's on the board, and you guys have made the pick. Good job. We're going back down. Now, I want to try at some point to trade back up a little higher, like this one. It's 72 to the Bears. I want to give him 83 and maybe something in here to get rid of these 7s because I'm not picking these 7s anyway. So what else can I do? Can I get 148 from him for some cheapness? No, it doesn't look like it. So could I go to the Jets? Nope, they have no interest. Could I move back from 80? 83 up to 73. Carolina, they want to move around, right? Could almost get that done. Or would we want to go to Dallas's pick at 76? You guys let me know. Am I wasting my time trying to trade up here? That's a 60%er moving up a few spots right now. Kennard did go, by the way. So did Noel that we talked about. Porter did go. Ursery did go. Even Restrepo, I'm kind of surprised by that. But would you guys make this trade and try to get back up knowing that we're giving up the 7th round picks, which I don't think have any chance at making this roster anyway? What do you guys think? Tad says trade down. Proctober says stay put. That's the question. At this point, there's enough top 100 picks left that I could go a number of different directions, but most people say stay put, stop screwing around, Ryan. You're being dumb. Okay. So, to answer Tyler's question, sorry, where it went here. What determines the Chiefs pick at 31? It's because they lost the Super Bowl. So they finished in second place. Super Bowl winner gets 32. Super Bowl loser gets 31. The AFC and NFC losers then get the next two picks determined by record and all the tiebreakers. That's how it works. Okay. So trade up now. Well, I don't think we're going to trade up. We do have one offer to trade back from 83 to 109 with the Bills, and I just feel that that's way too far. We still have the pick at 95, so I'm going to say no to this. What do you guys say? Do you want to pick here at 83 or move back? 109 is our only option. I like Tatum. I'm leaning that direction as well. I'd love to see us get Devin Neal, Cole said. I do like that idea. I think he has the ability to be a workhorse in here. Third or fourth round. Yeah, absolutely. I think that could work. I also like, again, I do like Kobe on this roster. So pick at 83, Tatum said. Mason Taylor. I like the Mason Taylor pick for this offense. No trade. Okay, so we are staying put officially. There's Mason Taylor on the board. There's Latham Ransom on the board, who is a solid player. We could double up at tackle with Cameron Williams if we wanted to. A lot of people have the Chiefs picking a guard right now. I don't understand that. You have way too much faith in Moore, in my opinion. But if you wanted to get an enormous guard that would be a road grader, Savanea would be it. He has been a left tackle. He can be a left guard. I guarantee that. No trade. Caroline said Taylor. Don't help the Bills. I'm with you, Douglas. Bond or Kobe. I want Mason badly. I agree. Speedy Tesla. I'm not sure what this one means, Zune. You're gonna have to explain that to me. Other options, just in case. We have Giddens on the board. He might still be there in a few picks. We're back on the clock in 12 picks. Remember that. Just looking here, Devin Neal is still out there, but we already took Judkins, so we're probably not going running back again. It was hard enough for me to do that in the first time. Let's take a look at the wide receivers because it is a resource that will run out. Isaac Tesla. Thank you, Speedy. Appreciate you. Bond would be an option. He does have some off the field issues. I understand that, but bring speed. That's for sure. You want to continue to attack downfield. He could be a target here, and the Chiefs will deal with a little bit of off the field stuff if they feel that they can get it sorted out. Tyler, is Graham gone? Yeah, Mason Graham was like pick number 3. I want to say Isaiah Bond has legal issues. Terry, you're right. Don't help the Bills. We have Juggins. Did we draft a DT? This is what we've done to this point. Offensive tackle, halfback. That's what we've done. If you want to look at the DT group, that's perfectly legit. And let's get to it. It's thinned out. You guys probably know who I'm targeting, although I think it's Picus is how that's pronounced. I could be wrong there. If you guys know, let me know. He is another viable option back there. I do like Tonka Hemingway a little bit as well. Deanne Walker is not much interest to me. So there's still a few options. So I guess with value, I don't think we have to jump on this right. Well, I don't think Caldwell would be a pick right here. So I am leaning towards Mason Taylor, but I'll give you the other option of the next best player available. If you wanted to double up at tackle, it would be Cameron Williams. If you wanted to go safety with Latham, that's a decent value pick. We'll see. So let's do this. Pick between Latham, Cameron Williams, and Mason Taylor. I think I know what the most are, but you guys put it in the chat and we'll make that pick. Big receiver, X receiver. I think, honestly, that it's going to be Rashee Rice's job to go to the X. That's what I think. I think they want Xavier to be their Z receiver, not their slot receiver. So that's what I think. Biggers from Georgia Tech would fit Spag's system. I'm going to have to go back. I don't recall thinking that off the top, but I will find that out real quick. Hold on. and see if I made any notes about that specifically. Hold on. My system, folks, for putting all of it together with the film and all that stuff, is convoluted. I will say the least. What did I put here? He can bring the power, which I do need him to have at that inside, but for me, the pass rush wasn't quite enough. The size and the length is there. I think he came in at 322, was it? I want to say 321, and he is 6'6", but Tracy is fine understanding how to actually manipulate the guy in front of you. I think that's still a challenge for Biggers, but somebody that we could look at later down, Speedy. I appreciate you bringing him up. Okay, so it looks like it is Taylor by a pretty good shot. So we're going to put Mason Taylor. And unfortunately, in a draft where we need to get some defensive talent, we are going to hold off until 95 to do that. We have gone all offense to this point, trying to give Patrick Mahomes the support that he needs and that he is looking for. We're back on the clock now. We're on 95. Ransom is still there. Cameron Williams is still there, the two guys that I gave you, as are Ashton Gillott, who I do really, really like. Again, we could move down maybe for Savion Jones if that's who we were targeting. I do like Baron Sorrell, but let's look at the tackle class because now it's going to help. Ty Robinson's there. 133, excuse me, might be too far to go. They moved his ranking up to 122 from like 256 where it was last week. So, Speedy, I could get the Gillott. We could go that direction. We could grab Robinson. We could try to wait on Robinson. We could grab Ransom. Let's see here. Ashton for sure said for October. Lando said as well. Somebody likes Caldwell. Beach likes Caldwell. Serious wants to go DT in general. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Landon Jackson. I'm not a big fan of Landon Jackson. I don't think he's going to get it done at the next level. Cameron he's a big dude. Pegasus, was he still available? Yeah, he's still available right behind Robinson. So he might be our backup if Cam is gone. I hear that they like Joshua Farmer as well. And I do think he's got some upside. He would definitely be a developmental pick, but I do think that there's something to be said for that. Trade up for Pegasus. Robinson, if we can wait on him. I agree. Let's look at what the trade offer is. We are at 95. The Raiders want to give us 108. Well, if I take all of their picks remaining, they'd probably do it. I mean, would you guys want to? I don't think this would ever happen. The Raiders will never trade with the Chiefs. But moving back 13 is going to cost us a player we need, so I'm not going to do that. So right now, I am leaning towards either Cameron Williams. Oof, man, that's a tough one. And we'll take our chance on Ty Robinson. So we have Ransom, we have Williams, we have Ashton. I would go Ashton. You guys know how I feel, but you put your vote in the chat and we will do it. We have one for Ransom. Ocean said Gillott or Farmer next. There's a Savion. Williams vote. Somebody really likes him. I think that's a decent reach, but that's okay. Good to put it in there. Another Ashton, another Gillott. Logan Brown, I think, will be available later, and I do think that he is a good option to double up at the position. But I do think he's easily a day 3, and I think probably a 5th-ish round pick. A Caldwell, a Farmer. Got a couple Farmers and a couple Caldwells. So far, Ashton is out front. That's true, Alec. This has not been the best draft for people wanting defensive heavy, but we can change that. Douglas wants to look at edge, and I think that's fair. Thank you, Alec. Another Gillott Tatum. Appreciate it. And if it turns out to be Gelati, I will just, eat my hat on camera or something because I feel bad. I've watched the guy for a long time, and I hope I'm not screwing up his name. Who were we looking for at edge? I mean, Ashton is technically an edge. He can go into tackle, but he is technically an edge. And honestly, he runs a great 3-cone. He is underrated in his ability to bend the edge and turn it. I'm not a big fan of Robinson. Tyrion Ingram Dawkins is a great athlete, somebody that the Chiefs would take a chance on because of that. Johnny Walker will be available later. So we have some options there. Oh, and maybe the best athlete at the position in this draft is the last dude on this board, Elijah Ponder. So there's always options there. But I think looks like Ashton has it. I'll give you one more look at CB because that would be the next option as well. We have all the local guys still available, and we probably should. So we're going to go up front, and we'll take Ashton, put him on the roster, and we'll see what happens. I should probably pause it and see if I can speed it up. There we go. And we're going to tick through and see how it's going. Folks, if you are new to us, make sure you like and sub to the channel. We're going to be live on draft day. At least day 1 and day 2. Day 3, we'll do a recap like we always do. You've seen our live streams together. Sometimes we're together. I won't be in the studio in Kansas City this year, but Dan, we're going to be online. We're going to be doing our things. So don't miss that. We have our draft boards coming. Obviously, the draft guide is out. We're brought to you by Fantasy from Underdog Fantasy, so you can get that. Use our code RGR. In fact, I can throw up the details here for you. It is available in Missouri. So check out our sponsor in Underdog Fantasy because they go a long way and they've been super helpful. They're a great partner to work with. And Edge was where we were going from what Douglas wanted to see. So Robinson is here. Proctor, you're absolutely welcome. Noel Williams from Cal. I do like him as well. That is a good one, Speedy. Robinson is here. Caroline and Tatum seem to be in on that. So, I mean, that's option number 1 right now here. I am certain of that. Surprised that he lasted this long, and that's perfectly fine. Logan Brown is here. I would hope that we can come back and get him at 226. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. They've been moving him up, so we're going to have to deal with that. There is trade offers. Let's take a look. Could move back 15 with the Bears, but they don't have anything else to move us up from 226, which is really what I'm trying to do. Let's see. We have an offer for the Cardinals at 252, but they don't have anything else to offer. So I don't think that there's a whole lot of options here. Could we fleece the dumb Bengals? I would love to do that. And they would do it. We can move back 20 and pick up 193. But I'm probably more happy to either go with Robinson or let's see what the corner group looks like. And our guys did go. All of our local guys went, it looks like. Pegas went. Kobe went. Jaden Blue went, home run hitter if we needed him. Noel Caldwell, Ransom went. Devin Neal went. Jacob Parrish went up there. So, yeah, we did miss out on a lot of our guys. Both the K-State guys went. Is Mello still in there? We could come back for Mello later if he's still available. It doesn't look like it. So that's a tough one. So Zy Alexander can do a little bit. He'd be a developmental corner to get in there, compete. A lot of people were high on Denzel Burke initially. Jalen Smith took over the role for CRW at USC. Oh, sorry. Let me put this back up full screen so y'all can see it. Sorry, Tad. Thank you. I appreciate it. So these are the corners. Tommy Hill's a possibility. I like Jabbar Muhammad. I think me and Dan have probably told you guys that before. So we might be able to come back and get him later. And that's the corner group. Best available. Mickens can do some things. McLaughlin inside, that's fine. Just trying to see if anybody else stands out. So it really comes down to either Ty Robinson or Logan Brown because neither of them will be there when we are back on the board. Torrey Horton is the wide receiver prospect that I would look at here. So he's an option as well. We don't need quarterbacks. We have a running back. Remember, this is what we've done at this point. Offense, and Ashton. So I am leaning towards defense here. So let me know what you guys think. What do you want to see happen? Is it Ty Robinson straight away? Is it Torrey Horton at the wide receiver spot, even though we already picked up a running back and a tight end? Brashard Smith and converting him like Tyreek Hill. It's an interesting concept, and I have heard of him, but I have not watched his film. That's in Dan's position group, and I didn't get down that far yet as I did my cross-checks, so I'd have to look at that. Yaya Black better double dip or 257. We will get Desmond Washington. Beach has never drafted an Ohio State guy, right? Good question. I honestly don't know. No way we don't pick up an IDL at this point. I agree, Jar. That's kind of, and it looks like most people are leaning that direction. I appreciate that, Speedy. Thank you. Okay, so I think the votes have it. We're going to go Ty Robinson, and we're going to see what our next pick brings. Again, this is down to the end of the draft by the time we're back on the clock here. So we'll just let it tick. We're going to have 226, 251, 257, and we're going to make the most of it. That's what I think the Chiefs are going to do as well. Now, my guess is they probably trade around a few more times than we have tonight, but that's okay. You never know what Brett Veach is going to do. So you have to kind of always take it as a little bit unknown and just go with it. Okay, so we're back on the clock, aren't we? I believe we are. Yeah, we're on the clock at 226. Majors went recently. Conyers. Teddy Buchanan. He's a linebacker that's really, really athletic that I thought could be like the next Cam Jones or something that might be able to play for you. Robinson corners, safeties. Yes, agreed. We want guys that are going to play on special teams and guys that have some speed and can fill in some of the gaps. So let's look wide receivers first. Bo Collins is a great athlete. He's not the greatest receiver, but he would be an option there if we wanted to go receiver and we can't find anybody else. Ja'Cory Brooks is an interesting guy as well. I'm not super huge on either of them, but let's look corner group and we'll see what we have here. Nico Reed, Tommy Hill is still here, and Jabbar Muhammad is still there. We can probably pick him up in a couple of picks if we want to. Looks like ADP, he is going a little bit higher than I thought it was. So Jabbar Muhammad is an option. Let's see what else. A lot of low quarterbacks here. I do think Tyler Shuck goes in the top 100. I think some team will take a chance on him, just so you guys know. Ollie Gordon, Catan Crawford is one of the best athletes at safety. He's very, very raw, and he has to learn, but he brings the physicality. He has the tools to be a high safety for this team. And somebody did ask to look at the safeties, so we're doing that. Dan Jackson, I won't touch Shiloh. Marcus Siegel from K-State is a good athlete as well. Easily Crawford would be my pick here. I do like his ability. He does need, again, to get better eye discipline, to not bite on fakes as much, but that's all on the mental side. He has all the tools you need. He's a willing tackler. He's super speedy, great athlete. He would be my pick if we have to go safety. But it's Jabbar Muhammad from Oregon. It's him at safety, and then I can't remember the wide receiver. We were talking Bo Collins. He would be the next best athlete. And as we stream down here, just to see who else is available, I'm not seeing anybody else that's screaming at me that we have to go take them. If you guys disagree, put it in the chat. Only Knives, he played a lot of split safety at Nevada, but I do think he has the potential to become a center fielder because he has the athleticism. Okay, so Napoleon said either Crawford or one of the Ducks CBs. QB Iceberg. I'm not going to do it. They might, but I'm not going to. I can't bring myself to do it, pal. Just looking around here for anything. K. Madrano is the most athletic linebacker in this class. I believe he's LB1 in the athletic matrix. Let me double check that. He's really a strong safety-sized linebacker. And he is, where'd he go? I lied. He is athletic matrix 6 in the linebacker group behind his teammate Carson Schlesinger and a couple of other guys. But he is a very, very good athlete. So that's just something to think about. QB, Crawford. Okay, seems like there's a lot. So we're going to narrow it down. Jabbar Muhammad or Crawford, and we'll try for the other one, whoever we don't take. Y'all tell me. Yes, Ishmael Mondon Beach, I do like him as well. I believe he went day 2, I wanted to say. Okay, looks like Crawford has it for now, so we're going to pick him, and we're going to come back in 25 picks, see who's left. I'm not a big fan of Mertz, but, because he's a local kid, you could try that. So Tracy Holden is still there, the other corner from Oregon, as is Nico Reed. But Jabbar, I'm guessing, no, Jabbar's still there too. So we did get our pick. I would probably just go pick him up because I know that he's on my list of value guys. Let's see. Mertz is still there. Oh, Mondon didn't go. Okay, so man, I would be very tempted to pick Mondon and Jabbar Muhammad right here. Jabbar, a corner. Okay, anybody else? Why don't we do Mondon after we do Jabbar? Better path to have play time. If there's a better corner, put it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll go Jabbar, and then we'll come back for Mondon and hope that we get him. Jabbar, Mondon over Jabbar, a couple people said. Mondon. Okay, it's a toss-up so far. Need more votes, guys. Tell me what you want. Linebacker Mondon from Georgia or Jabbar Muhammad corner, who is higher rated, from Oregon. Speedy, I'm going to hold off on Tommy. He is a backup option, though. Mondon. I disagree, Iceberg. I think there are plenty of spots for corners on this roster, to tell you the truth. Mondon, hard pick. I like both. I think it's more likely that Jabbar goes in the next 5 picks than Mondon does, so let's take him. We'll take Jabbar now. And it worked. Okay, we got it. We're going to get Mondon as well because he didn't go off the board. And bada boom, Georgia Bulldog on your roster. Okay, we have accomplished what we set out to accomplish, guys and gals. This is what we did tonight. Josh Simmons got up there and got him at 21. We separated our 63 and 66 in order to get that pick done. We turned 83 then from 66 into Mason Taylor to come in and help Wiley and help Gray and help Kels. He's going to get that done. We came back with Ashton in the 95 spot to help us get after the passer, both from the edge and he can go inside. And I really do like that. Then we come back. Ty Robinson, you know he's my guy. Thank you guys for going along for that. This was your draft. You picked it. Then we came back with Keaton. He actually pronounces it Keaton. I'm sorry if I've been saying that wrong. Keaton Crawford, who can train up as a safety. He's likely to be a practice squad player given the number of safeties they have on here, but he has the speed to be a difference maker later. Then we came back Jabbar Muhammad, who can cover and can jump in there and compete right now. And Shmael Mondon, who I think could be giving someone a run as either the deep backup safety or practice squad safety that could eventually emerge. Frankly, not real pleased, Tad said. Needed a difference makers on DL. Well, you know what? That's what we'll go for next time. That's a fair criticism. I don't blame you for saying that. And that's what we'll try to do next time. I'm going to try to do as many of these before the draft as we can. So definitely next Tuesday. I'll try to do one Sunday. Depends on my schedule. And maybe even we'll do one Friday. So you guys just all get back here. Make sure that you get what you're looking for, and we'll just run as many scenarios as we possibly can. I will, in the meantime, keep studying. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your votes, and thank you for running this draft. Make sure you like, sub, hit the bell, hit the store, hit all the stuff, and make sure that you get out to Rogue APC and get the draft guide. Use the code RGR. It gets you a discount, and you can download that. It's a giant PDF, but it gives you all the information we have on all the guys from production to athleticism to the film grades. A ton there. Go get it. Thank you for having your time tonight. It's nice to see you guys, and I'll catch you next time.